This is Miss Lily. I wanted to bring you on a trip that I'm down here downtown DC, and where, as you see, we're on 15th Street. This is the end of the parade route. You see some stands over here off to the right. Hotel across the street there. Little White House gift shop over there. The parade came down this street. Not that street, but around this corner here. This is the street that the White House is actually on. The things that you see in the middle of the street here, these greenish, bluish things, they go down into the ground when vehicles need to come through. And of course, they were down that day because the parade came through. The parade participants came through. So this is on this street, reviewing stands on both sides of the street. Across the street is PNC Bank. At one point in time, you could actually drive down this street, but because of all the things that we're going through, the culture of today, they no longer allow you to drive down this street. Now it's strictly pedestrians. But as I was going to say, this used to be Riggs Bank. This is the bank that I worked at, the first job that I had when I came to DC. And I remember coming out of the doors around here on the side here and saying to my mom, "Mom, I work right across the street from the White House." How cool was that? Very cool. So anyway, if you look all the way down there, you see the presidential reviewing stand all the way down there. We're going to eventually go down there, but right now I just wanted you to get an idea of the parade route. And at some point around in here, the president and first lady got out of their limos and they began to walk. Not quite sure at this time where exactly, but I wanted to show you also the street right in front. As you can see, once again, that is 15th Street there, part of the parade route. And if you come around here, then we're going to walk down to the reviewing stand so that you can see the presidential reviewing stand that they had on that day. Oh, wow, great. We got a chance to see the things go down into the ground and a police vehicle come through. Thank you so much. That was perfect for me. Thank you. Have a good day. Be safe. So there you have it. That's what I was trying to explain to you before. They go down into the ground. There's someone in that the little booth that you see there that saw her coming, and they can let that down for her so that she can get through. But those are the only vehicles that are allowed through here. So this is actually the parade route. I am walking the parade route that the president and first lady walked that day. We're going to close out here this segment so that we can get some photos. And the building behind the reviewing stand here is actually the Treasury building. These stands were packed that day, as you know. You can go and find, of course, any place online to see the actual parade and everything that happened that day. We were down here that day and it was exciting. We, of course, were not in this area. There were special tickets to get into this area, but we were downtown on Pennsylvania Avenue watching the parade. So we're getting closer and closer to the reviewing stand. As you can see, it is huge. So let's go on down. Okay, so here we are now at Executive Park and Pennsylvania Avenue. And as you can see, it says 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So guess what's behind all of these trees? Of course, these stands are not always here. These stands are only here because of the inaugural parade. Normally, nothing is here like this. So the street is clear. You can see the White House from this point. As you can see through the trees, through the stands is the White House. Security is right here protecting the president. You see the flags all down the street, which is called East Executive Park. So we're approaching 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and you can see again the wonderful presidential viewing stand. Across the street is the park. And just so you can get an idea of how far we've come, we came from that area down there, which is 15th Street. And once again, there's PNC Bank. So we're just going to walk down a little bit further. They are now taking the stands down. Takes a long time to do this, put it up, get it back down. So this is a pedestrian walkway, as I said. No vehicles except for security vehicles, policemen, things like that are allowed down this area. And the viewing stand is getting bigger and bigger because we're getting closer and closer. So just wanted to get myself in here a little bit. You see the reviewing stand off there to my shoulder. And we are going to go right down there in front of it, take some pictures, take some video, so that you can see how it looked and get a good idea of what was going on that day. Okay, so there's our first full view of the White House. Yay! Hi, First Family. And the presidential reviewing stand. Across the street, you have the reviewing stand for the other inaugural guests of honor. These stands were packed that day. This is a view right across the street from the White House. And as I said before, these stands are not always here. They're only here because of the inaugural parade. It's beautiful. Get a glimpse of the Washington Monument right in the background there. Through the trees. The beautiful White House, the Executive Building right across the street, and the Presidential Reviewing Stand. This is where the parade ended at this point. So right now we are directly in front of the White House. You can see the Washington Monument in the background. And I'm just going to move back a little bit so you can see the security fence that's in front of the White House. And right here is the Presidential Reviewing Stand. Across the street was the other reviewing stand for the other dignitaries. And this is how far we've come. PNC Bank is down that way. The wings of the White House.
What grade is it actually? Third.
So let's go back. Get a full view. So as you can see, the White House is directly behind me. The viewing stand is right beside the White House presidential reviewing stand. Just to give you an idea of where we came from. We came down this street here. PNC Bank is there. And then across the street, more reviewing stands. And the reviewing stand for the dignitaries, the other dignitaries that were not in the presidential reviewing stand. Across the street, once again, is the presidential reviewing stand. And the reviewing stand is right in front of the White House, so they didn't have far to go to get dressed that evening. Okay, they are in fact in the process of tearing it down now. So we came at the right time to at least get an idea of how big it was. And just imagine it had glass all throughout there. It was heated and the president was nice and warm and cozy up in there. But just so you could see the size of it and in relation to where it is from the White House, that is the White House directly behind it. Executive Building right next to the White House. And as I said, all of these windows in these two reviewing stands had windows covering everything, glass covering, and of course we know it was bulletproof. So this is a different view. I'm actually on the other side of the reviewing stand, and there's actually a security person walking across the lawn. Wonder what he's up to. None of my beeswax, right? He's doing his job. It's another great view of the Washington Monument there. And if we pan over, you can see one of the wings of the White House and the Executive Office Building. In relation to the reviewing stand for the parade, it's right here, right along the fence. And the other reviewing stand for the other executives that day is across the street. And usually this is all clear, every little building that you see right here and all of the machinery. They are only here because of the parade. Some crazy person just stepped up onto the wall here. So you heard security calling to him to get down. He cannot stand up there. They don't know what y'all up to. But he was cool. He jumped on down. So anyway, as I was saying, all of these barricades and all this stuff that you see here is not normally here. Sometime the summer will come down so you can see how clear it is when there's no inauguration parade going on. So you can see that this area is usually clear except for people who want to come and see the White House and where President and Mrs. Obama are spending their next 4 years. Yay! So, I think that's about it right now. Over and out. I have no idea who it is, but there's some people who just came out of the side entrance to the White House. They're walking down the street, and their backs are to us, so I don't know who they are, but so be it. And the building to the right, on the right-hand side of the screen, is the Executive Office Building. And what you see on the left is a wing of the White House, and that is the Washington Monument that's behind the trees there. Seems like it's close, but it's not close. And this is a picture through the fence, so that's why it's not real good. You can see the main building of the White House there. It's a pretty good shot. I mean, you know, who would want... I'm glad they don't let you get real close because it's crazies out there. Another view, the White House and the reviewing stand. It was massive. Secret Service vehicle. They're here 24/7, protecting our president. Something's going on tonight because I've seen activity over in the wing over there. Lots of people coming in and out. Secret Service all over the building and walking in and out. So something's happening tonight. I was just thinking, here I am in Washington, D.C., standing right outside of the most famous house in the world. That's the Executive Office Building back there. Let's move back a little bit. The face kind of big. And you can see the White House in the background as well. Further down the street, you can see the viewing stand from the presidential inaugural parade. And I was just thinking, you know what? Praise the Lord. I have a wonderful life. I could not really complain. It's just really good to be a United States citizen. And I praise the Lord for that opportunity. I'm glad that He had me He had me be born in the United States. I'm getting kind of choked up because it's just amazing to me that we can just be right here, and the White House over my shoulder there, the executive building over the other shoulder. And just a week ago, there was a nice parade for the president coming down this street here. And just like the president does when he signs off, I want to say, God bless all of you, and God bless the United States of America.